Do you think he quit?
A little bit. I thought he quit.
For Anthony Joshua, everything came crashing down the moment Andy Ruiz Jr. landed that left hook. One shot, and the entire heavyweight landscape was turned on its head. But true champions don't stay down. They rise, they rebuild, and they come back stronger. This is the story of how Anthony Joshua avenged the defeat and shook the boxing world. Welcome back to Fight Story.
There's a lot of responsibility being a champion of the world, so the partying and all the stuff got the best of me, but next time is gonna be a lot better.
Only once in a generation does the heavyweight division find a new king. Someone with the power, presence, and poise to reign over the sport. After years of clinical dominance by the Klitschko brothers, the division had grown stale. The belts remained in Europe, but the excitement had long since left. Anthony Joshua brought it back. It was the perfect storm: Olympic gold, commercial appeal, and a polished humility that masked a violent finishing instinct.
Out of there as Joshua Dargan.
If you stay in the gym and stay dedicated, I've got a good family. I've built a really good team around me that keeps me grounded, and I just got to keep on grinding it out and keep on improving.
I'm so excited about Anthony Joshua, not just because he's a great talent, but I think we've got a real chance of a role model and ambassador in the sport of boxing, someone that young people can look up to, and this is going to be a great journey.
He didn't just win, he filled stadiums, ignited a nation, and brought back the roar that had been missing since the Tyson days.
Your heart will fail you, trust me.
Who are you, a doctor?
See if it was on the road,
Your mouth will get you into
I would
much
deal with
trouble.
you.
A dramatic shootout with Dylan White at the O2 had fans on their feet.
There's a grin from White, but the legs are betraying him, and down he goes. Surely no way up here for Dylan White. It's stopped.
The dismantling of Charles Martin to claim the IBF title sent a jolt through the division.
And Joshua on the brink here.
And then came Vladimir Klitschko. In 2017 at Wembley Stadium, Joshua went to war with the last of the old kings. Dropped, tested, bloody, but he rose. And in the championship rounds, he stopped Klitschko in a modern classic. The torch had been passed, and the crown was his. A unification win over Joseph Parker added weight to the throne. From that point on, the heavyweight division belonged to Anthony Joshua.
What I'd have to do to beat Wilder? Get him in the ring, and I'll knock him spark out.
With the UK conquered, it was time for a bigger stage. Eddie Hearn turned westward, to America. Joshua's US debut was set for Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. The plan was simple: make a statement, grow the brand, and build toward global super fights. The opponent was Jarrell Miller, a loudmouth New Yorker who played the perfect foil.
Long enough. I'm freaking home. Remember I told you that. Ain't nobody gonna dictate to me.
He vowed to derail the hype, but behind closed doors, his words didn't match his actions. As the date drew near, Miller tested positive for a cocktail of banned substances, an entire pharmacy's worth of performance enhancers. He was out. The opponent needed replacing, and fast. Andy Ruiz Jr. didn't look the part. He wasn't sculpted, he wasn't undefeated, and he wasn't marketed. But beneath the soft exterior was a real fighter. A former world title challenger who had pushed Joseph Parker to the brink in New Zealand.
Let's go.
Coney's in a ton of head.
Overlooked by the business, discarded by Top Rank, but still training, still waiting. When the call came, Ruiz didn't hesitate. Joshua's team saw a safe substitute, a late replacement who would come in, take his shot, and fall like the rest. What they didn't see was a man with nothing to lose and everything to take.
Round one underway.
From the opening bell, it looked like business as usual. Joshua stalked his opponent with calculated pressure, circling, probing, waiting for the shot that would end it all.
In round number two, the nice combination up top and a good exchange. Caught Ruiz. And then a left hand.
And in the third round, he found it. A short left hand sent Ruiz crashing to the canvas. The crowd roared. The script was playing out. But then, Ruiz got up.
Back on his feet after getting dropped by Joshua.
Joshua moved in for the finish. But as he opened up, Ruiz answered back. A looping left that crashed into Joshua's ear and scrambled everything.
Andy Ruiz!
Joshua went down, hard. The arena, stunned. He got to his feet, but something was wrong. His legs weren't there. His balance was gone.
Diving with a big right hand that lands on Joshua.
Before the round could end, Ruiz put him down again.
Anthony Joshua is down for a second time in round number 3.
In the corner, they tried to reset him, told him to box, to stay long, to stay smart. But in round 4, the damage was showing. Joshua was upright, but never stable. And Ruiz, calm, patient, and inching forward, was ready to finish what he'd started.
Right hand kicks up. Ruiz picking his nick where he wants.
By round 7, the end was near. A flurry of punches sent Joshua to the canvas once more. This time, the expression said it all. He wasn't just hurt, he was lost. A 4th knockdown followed, and the referee had seen enough. Andy Ruiz Jr. had done the unthinkable. He had shocked the world, and in one night became everything he was never meant to be.
Mom, I love you. I love you, and our lives is gonna change. We don't have to struggle no more. Thanks to God, everything happened for a reason, baby.
Overnight, Andy Ruiz had become a superstar. He was on talk shows, posing for magazine covers, shaking hands with presidents, basking in the spotlight he had chased his entire life. It was the kind of story boxing was built on.
And you're the first ever Mexican heavyweight champion of the world.
Man, thanks to God.
It's crazy, man.
An 11-1 underdog, as I think most people are aware. They say this is the biggest upset since Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson.
But while Ruiz embraced the fame, Anthony Joshua was living a different story. The critics didn't just question his chin, they questioned his heart.
He's got a highly questionable jaw. That is a fact. He's got too much muscle mass.
Right.
He's too worried about battle roping and lifting weights.
Right.
And you know, looking like a model on Instagram instead of being in the boxing gym.
By the way, Joshua Wilder will still eventually be a huge fight. Joshua,
Not the same.
I don't know.
Not the same.
I don't even know if Joshua will be the underdog by the time that fight's made.
But Joshua didn't respond with excuses. He went silent and got to work. Behind closed doors, he stripped it all back, rebuilt his body, reset his mind.
I'm a soldier, and I have to take my ups and my downs, and I have to take it like a man. Never let success get to your head, and never let your failures get to your heart. It's all about keeping a balance and moving forward, and that's the mindset that I have to keep.
Do you think he quit?
A little bit. I thought he quit because of the way that it was going, you know? My ability, the way that I am, my speed, the movement. I don't
How
think
many
he's
times
fought.
out of 10? How many times out of 10 do you think he'd beat him?
I'll say 10.
6 months later, the rematch was announced. Neutral ground, the desert of Saudi Arabia. By fight week, the contrast couldn't have been sharper. Ruiz stepped on the scale at 283 pounds, nearly 15 heavier than the night he shocked the world. There were whispers of late nights, missed sessions, distractions. The fame had come fast, and so had the weight. He smiled on the scales, proud, defiant. But behind the grin was a fighter underprepared, blinded by the spoils that came with the crown. From the opening bell, Joshua circled Ruiz with caution, staying just out of range. Then a sharp right hand sliced through Ruiz's guard and opened a cut over the eye in round 1. A warning shot and a statement. Ruiz was stalking, still dangerous. He was heavier, slower, but lurking, looking for one mistake.
That right hand again from AJ.
Gone was the aggressive Joshua who would walk down opponents with brute force. This version was leaner, measured, and calculated. He boxed, disciplined, controlled, precise. Every movement had purpose. Every punch thrown with calculation, no emotion. By round 4, the frustration in Ruiz was obvious. Joshua was a ghost, here, then gone. And just when it seemed Ruiz had no answers, he landed a stiff right hand to close the round, a reminder that the danger hadn't disappeared.
Another good round this for Anthony Joshua. Last 30 seconds. Puts him nicely. Oh, big one uppercut went in from AJ. Left hook back from Ruiz.
But it was a spark, not a shift. As the rounds progressed, Joshua's jab dictated everything. Ruiz couldn't close the distance. The extra weight, meant to give him power, had only slowed him down.
To avoid that, he's obviously having a screw, but you know what I mean. Signs of it a couple of times. Joshua, is he getting to it? Those jabs coming from Joshua with a big left hook.
By the championship rounds, the pattern had been set. Joshua moved, Ruiz chased shadows. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a masterclass.
Big right hand. These are the last second of big right hand. Joshua at a time. His time is running, mate. No, why should he?
And when the final bell rang, there was no doubt. Joshua had made the changes. He reclaimed his crown, and with it, became a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. This served as a cautionary tale of how fame without focus can undo even the greatest triumph, and how defeat, in the hands of the right man, can become fuel for reinvention. This was the story of Anthony Joshua, and how he reclaimed the crown.